Hello and welcome to the Ultimate Freight Podcast. This is Joe Genosa here with Ultimate Logistics Inc., here to guide you through these choppy freight waters. The market continues to climb. There's a couple of things pushing the market up right now. Number one is produce. That happens every single year. And right now we're in the thick of it. We are at the peak season of produce all around the country. Especially we're seeing it here in Northern California. The other thing pushing up the market rates right now are intermodal capacity and ocean freight capacity. Right now, I believe it's 75 ships between Oakland and Long Beach where they're having to wait 5 days or more just to unload their product. These shipments keep getting pushed back more and more because these ships are having a hard time getting unloaded in the first place. It's just a giant traffic jam all across the world basically when it comes to logistics, and the reason why is because COVID. Everyone has money right now. Everyone's got that stimulus money, and there's a ton of money flowing through the economy right now with all these stimulus packages getting passed, and that's just the nature of the beast when everyone's got money, and you also have pent-up demand from not being able to go out and spend that money for about a year. You're seeing a ton of people they have a lot of income right now and they're willing to spend it. They want to go out, they want to do stuff, restaurants being open, all kinds of stuff. I'm seeing less and less masks. A lot of people are getting vaccinated, and so there's just a lot of confidence right now. So it's definitely stimulating the economy. What's also happening though is inflation. You're seeing high prices literally everywhere. There's a worker shortage right now. No one wants to work. That's just plain and simple. So that affects drivers. There's always been a driver shortage. Over the last 10 years there's been a driver shortage, but now it's even more increased because there's a worker shortage in general, and being a truck driver is probably one of the least desirable jobs because you're risking your life, number one. Number two, it's hard. It's hard to drive all day, every day, and drive a big rig like that, and it's just a tough job. So people want more per mile to actually get that job done, just like anywhere else. I heard there's a couple of McDonald's in California that are actually giving signing bonuses to work at McDonald's. That's how bad it is, the worker pool right now, and that's definitely getting affected in the freight market and everywhere else. So there's there's jobs. There's plenty of jobs out there, but not enough people willing to work. So what that does is if the demand is high for products, but there's no products and there's no workers, then that just drives the price up for anything even more. And you're seeing transportation getting brought right up with that. So you're seeing the normalcy of the produce season getting in peak, but now that's getting paired with the backed up demand for products right now in the United States. So you're seeing high rates shipping out of Los Angeles. You're seeing high rates everywhere across the board, but more importantly out of Los Angeles. Also the Southeast, places like Georgia, and then the Midwest like Ohio, Indiana, places like that. So I'm just going to share some tips with you and let you know what you can do to save some money on your shipments that are shipping around 4th of July weekend. So what you want to do is, first off, make sure all of your orders are accurate. All your PO numbers are accurate. Everything's accurate on the actual orders. It seems like when things get screwed up over a holiday weekend, they come back and bite you twice as hard. Mistakes cost money all the time in transportation, but they cost you a lot more money over a holiday weekend because there's just less options available. A lot of drivers are going to take that weekend off. There's going to be less trucks. The other thing with capacity too is that it's a perfect storm that we happen to be running into in the 4th of July this year because it's the end of the month, number one, it's the end of the quarter, and it's 4th of July weekend. So there's three things that are working against you. Shippers want to get stuff off of their books and shipped out before the end of any month, typically, and definitely before the end of any quarter. And that's going to be the last week of June. So you're going to see shippers trying to ship stuff out for that, and other shippers also sending stuff out leading up to 4th of July. So you have kind of a perfect storm of high rates and no availability. So the least amount of mistakes you can make, the better, because the less capacity there is, the more expensive everything is, and the more expensive your mistakes are. So make sure you get tightened up on that. The other tip I have for you, if you can avoid shipping over that weekend, do it. If you can ship the weekend before or hold an order to ship the weekend after, I would start planning that out now with your customers if you're promising orders to them. So if you can avoid the holiday weekend at any cost, just do it. If you can't, don't run into a trap of having your driver have to hold an extra day over the weekend. That's going to cost you a lot of money as well. Let's say you have an order shipping out of California going to Texas, and that's a regular weekend lane, like Friday to Monday type of thing. If you just send it like normal and it's picking up on Friday, June 28th, well, you have to be mindful. Monday, they're probably not going to be able to deliver. They got to stay over for an extra day and lay over on Tuesday. So if you didn't know that until like a couple of days before you're shipping, and then you're getting quotes and stuff like that, man, these guys step on it pretty hard, step on the rates, and they're like, well, I can't get a load Monday, so I'm going to charge you for that plus a layover, and they put a little extra on their quoting rate, even though typically a layover is $250, a standard throughout the industry. They're not just going to take the normal rate and add $250 to it. They're going to add some pain in the butt money to it because they're in high demand and they don't want to wait an extra day. They'd rather go get another load and get loaded out right away, and there's plenty of loads like that because there's so much freight. So make sure with your orders, if they're shipping over the weekend, you're mindful of that Monday. You're mindful of any days that you're shipping. Maybe you're shipping from the East Coast to the West Coast, and you have something picking up on a Wednesday or a Thursday. It picks up on a Thursday and it's supposed to deliver Monday into California, but the receiver's closed on Monday and you didn't think about it or whatever. That can happen very easily, and so you want to make sure and plan out for that. And a load like that, maybe you ship it out on a Friday so it delivers on Tuesday instead of Monday. So those are some tips for you on how to plan out 4th of July weekend. Again, it's a perfect storm. It's the end of the month. It's the end of the quarter. People are shipping stuff anyways, trying to get stuff out of there. And then you have 4th of July weekend that you're running over. So try to avoid it as much as possible. If you can't avoid it, make sure you have correct information on those orders, and also make sure you plan it out to where your driver doesn't have to wait an extra day to get unloaded, and it's more advantageous for them. So talk to your broker, talk to them now, look at what you have coming up and say, hey, what's the best way to move this, the cheapest way possible, considering these places are going to be closed and open. And that's the last thing I have for you is make sure you call your shippers and receivers ahead of time and see who's open and who's closed. That way you can figure out your orders the best way. Don't just put stuff on dates on your orders and then just send them and hope for the best. I would get as much information as possible about what's happening around 4th of July weekend. Then you can make a plan. You could lose a lot of money 4th of July weekend if you don't do things right. So that's what I got for you. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Thanks.